Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Upton by Lancyboi. Today we are doing some mowing. Gonna try and get some silage made to bring over to the BGA. Speaking of which, we've got the JCB 435S, which is rented. Granted. We've got that working away at the BGA, selling off our silage first, because I don't think you guys would want to sit through a video of me driving a wheel loader. I have theoretically recorded a course that is going to work throughout this video. After a bit of trial and error. My two favourite words to put in a sentence together is trial and error, because that means there's failures. I'm kind of keeping an eye on the course play speed to make sure that it's working correctly. But the plan is, I don't know how well this plan's gonna go. JCB is going to sell the silage for us, as we do other jobs, and we'll be getting money coming in. Now, the more silage we make, and we're going to be making grass silage this time around. The silage that was in the clamp already was corn silage. Making some grass silage. We're going to use possibly a forage wagon, possibly just get a grass pickup header for our forage harvester. But we will be picking up the grass with that, with something, I'm not entirely sure, and bringing it over to the BGA, make some good silage that way. And then hopefully we'll be able to buy a wheel loader to exclusively work at the BGA at some point in the near future. Because that is definitely a hope of mine, is to get a wheel loader with the express purpose of using it over there. I do have in my possession a cup of coffee at the moment, because since I recorded the last video, I got hungry and made some food and got a cappuccino, which is totally legitimate. I also have somewhere near me a bottle of water, just in case I need even more to drink, but I should be good for drinks for the rest of today, which means the West Coast videos, I need to record 2 more, and that should be this week's videos theoretically done. I'll figure out what to do on the weekend at some point at a later time. Now, I've been speaking to Landy Kid today. Actually, very recently. I've just stopped, kind of abandoned him to record, and he's been saying he's been hearing a lot of comments about lag in his videos. Have you guys been seeing any lag in my videos? And if you have, I have a very important question for you guys. If you have been seeing lag, other than that was legitimate lag on my end. Because I am getting weird little lag pangs all of a sudden. I might need to get rid of the shader cache. If you've been experiencing lag on a fairly frequent basis, could you let me know if you're on Android? And that seems like a very odd question to ask, but I've noticed that when I'm watching videos on my phone, which is an Android, and even if you get lag in Landy's videos, let me know if it's my videos or Landy's videos or somebody else's videos. Please use the words somebody else, don't just advertise random people, unless it's Sim or one of the guys. You know I don't mind you guys advertising at all or talking about. Could you let me know if you're on Android, please? Because the YouTube Android app specifically has a bizarre issue where it will randomly cause lag. Possibly throughout an entire video, possibly just completely at random. It depends on how lucky you get. But I have noticed it myself, and it is very specific to when I'm using my phone to watch stuff. So to 25,000. Oh dear, the JCB's managed to get itself stuck somewhere. How have you got stuck now, JCB? What have you done? New Holland, Deutzfahr, Grasshopper, JCB. Oh, you've run into the corner here. Can I drive now? That's not helped at all, has it? If I start you off again, are you gonna just make a beeline for that corner? Or are you gonna do something vaguely useful? Let's see. So let's follow the JCB on the course this time, just so you can see what it does. So it starts off here, goes into the pit. This is something interesting. It has been going down to that corner, but now that corner there is empty. Is it now going to go straight down the middle? It is going kind of straight down the middle-ish. Aha! Fills up. Reverses back out the silo. So that's new to Courseplay, the fact that it does go specifically to like a bit of silage because of the way silage works now. Comes out the silo, turns here. This is going to be very complicated here because I had to do some faffery. It turns here and then does a second really tight turn and a third turn so they can line up reasonably straight on the bunker. Dumps into the bunker. There's some extra money. Mildly concerned about the amount of money or the amount of silage that's in the bunker. Does a little reverse. It goes off. And there's a little loop up here, up by the pit, which I do want to see 65,000 litres of digestate in there. And it just heads back over to the start point. So it's going to be working away throughout. Meanwhile, we're going to be preparing for the next lot of silage by doing some mowing, and I will be windrowing it up today. Actually there will be time. I'm just looking at how far we're into the video already. There's definitely going to be time to be windrowing. And I'm going to use the T-Dub. I have a Ford TW5 over in a different field with some different equipment. I can just whip that off real quick and bring this over here. Because I did some bale wrapping. I did a lot of bale wrapping recently. I know I've been doing a lot of mowing and bale wrapping recently. It's really just to get money in quickly. And doing this is quick, easy money. So we've got a Ford TW5 ready to go across the map. We'll teleport it over here. We'll teleport it over to the windrower first and then teleport it over here. And we can windrow this field up nice and quickly. It shouldn't take too long. Lancey did change the field from the last time I used it. Last time the telephone poles weren't there at all. Nor was that little fenced off area that I don't quite know what the point of it is, but it's there, so I have to deal with it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have this windrowed up ready to be turned into silage in probably tomorrow's stream. I'm kind of liking streaming up on a Friday and streaming a bit more West Coast because I know West Coast is out. For one, I don't want to burn you guys out of Upton too much, so I'm only kind of streaming it once a week. So you know, you don't get too burnt out. It's a bit of a It's a bit of a special occasion streaming Upton, isn't it? And yeah, that's kind of the plan. Now, whether this all goes to plan is kind of up in the air. Now I still haven't looked at that. Dang it. Blage, if you're watching, I still haven't looked at that windrower you sent me. Blage sent me a Pottinger windrower that is apparently 2 rotors and rather good. And I've completely forgotten to hit the link that he sent. So I haven't even looked at the download page yet. Because it's only just occurred to me now. But if you guys know of any other good 2-rotor windrowers, please feel free to send me a message on YouTube, DM on Twitter, or message to the Facebook page, or on Discord, letting me know where on earth I can find it. Now, I do have one requirement. This is going to be a deal breaker for me. It cannot be a reskin of the Kuhn windrower from FS15 or the Kuhn rower from FS17, because every single 2-rotor windrower I've found has been one of the two. And it's kind of highlighting, I don't know if it's a bit of laziness in the hog community, or just a lack of modders in this specific area, but it's a real shame there's no good two-rotor windrowers out there. Because, like, that's the most common type. And yet all the ones that I tend to find are single rotor, and they're nice, but like for what I want to do, they take way too long. So I'm just going to park up the John Deere in here. Turn it off. The Ford is here. We'll just detach this. And where is the windrower? That's the baler. The windrower is going to be, I think, here. Yes, as I teleport directly on top of it. That was some precision teleporting, Dave. Well done. So we got enough hay bales, we got enough silage bales to do for a while. The plan is now to make some pit silage and to use that in the BGA and sell it off. What I would like to do as well is get a corn seeder, a corn planter. Maybe get some more corn silage on the go. This, by the way, is the coon rake from FS15. Somebody's, I think Giants converted it over, actually. And it's slightly smaller than the in-game one. In-game coon, that, you know, by default. But I think it's a better fit. Like, it's mostly the same. Almost identical size. Tiniest bit smaller. And it just looks a bit more logically sized, I want to say. The rotors don't look hilariously huge, because the rotors in the in-game one look a bit weird. They look a bit missized. So I do prefer this one, I'll be honest. I believe Pizza Wheel is actually doing something cool and special for me with either this or a different windrower, I'm not sure, but I mentioned something kind of off the cuff and he kind of immediately jumped onto it. But I would like to see more two-rotor windrowers, honest. Like, if I could do a modding competition and have prizes and whatnot, the brief would be two-rotor windrowers, and the best one would win. And I'd be very, very picky about it all, because it'd be a very specific mod that I'd want. Not in terms of like machine, you know, brands and whatnot, but because I'd only want two-rotor windrowers of a British and Irish style specifically, I'd be very picky with textures and whatnot. Because anybody can make a windrower and just reskin the coons. Now, I'm pretty sure I've used both the coons enough to know when I see that very same model. Like, the class rake I was using was just a reskin of this thing. A good reskin, granted, but unfortunately function was lacking. And it's honestly a bit of a shame that so many modders are just doing reskins of stuff and not making their own new models. Which, granted, is a bit rich coming from me, considering half of my tweaks and fiddles with mods are texture changes, but I do, with maps, tend to grab models out of other places and just throw them in and do little tweaks to functionality here and there, sometimes without even ever saying it. And that's just because it's what I want to do. Granted, I would presume that a lot of people want to reskin windrowers, apparently. But I think it's kind of I think it's something that's good for people getting into modding, but if existing modders who've done this for a long time do it, it just kind of sets off my laziness alarm. which, considering how lazy I am, is a pretty good alarm. I know, I know all the shortcuts that I take, so I can see when other people take them. It's a bit of a shame. It really is. But we are making good progress with this field. Want to get a thumbnail for today's video, so let's just get the things down, and we'll hop out of the tractor real quick and just get a nice thumbnail going. It's very easy to take a pretty picture when you got pretty mods and a pretty map. There we go. I think I screwed with the FOV there as well, so I might... Yeah, I'm just going to hop out and fix that. There we go. I will admit, the game does look weird when you take the HUD off. Like, it doesn't... There's something about this that doesn't quite look right. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Let's continue the windrowing. We're going to miss small bits here and there, but that's fine. Not the end of the world if we miss a small bit here and a small bit there. They'll probably add up to big bits eventually, but not really worth my time worrying about. I think actually I do need to have the HUD up because I need to see how much money is coming in. And I need to have this up because I need to see if the JCB's managed to get itself stuck again like it has. Yeah, same problem as before. I think the rest of this I can do myself, so I can just clear that. I meant to save that course. Nuts. Oh well, I'll have to regenerate the course next time I need it. Because there's not enough silage here for... Yeah, there's barely a full bucket left. In fact, there isn't. There's 4,500 left. So this is the remainder of the silage. And I'm now having to think about what I want to do with the grass. Do I want to use the forage harvester and get a new header for that? Or do I just want to use a forage wagon? Because either way I'll be needing to drive over here in a tractor. I don't have two trailers that I could use. So I think maybe the forage wagon might be the better idea, especially for grass silage. Although that's kind of a 30,000 minimum cost. That said, I'd make a lot more than 30,000 just selling off the silage. I do not know. Or at least I'd theoretically make more than 30,000 selling it off. So let's get a loading wagon here. We've got 44,000. We can only really afford the Mengele, which is what I'm using on the west coast, or the Pottinger, which has a smaller capacity. I could, of course... This has just occurred to me. If I were to go into forage harvesters, get the Massey Ferguson 200, but that tends to be a bit wonky. Anything I could use that'd be really useful. This is for potatoes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Pottinger Euroboss. We can use the T-dub with that. But before we do any of that, we need to finish doing the raking. This is all well and good having a forage wagon and having an empty pit, but if there's no grass to pick up, or no windrows to pick up more specifically, there's no point in even bothering. So for whatever reason I did a little swooshy here. I'm not entirely sure why. We will be... We possibly might even get started with the foraging today. And I'm not entirely sure why the windrows sometimes go a bit wonky like that. It just seems to be a thing the game likes doing periodically, is just making a wonky windrow. So we got what, 1, 2, 3. How do we have 4 rows of grass left to pick up when this thing rows 3 into 1? GG Dave, you've You've managed to do the impossible. Well done, Dave, you idiot. There's just a single random line of... Oh, because one of them was... Yeah, I figured it out. Over the other side, one of them was just a single pass with a single mower. Okay. So that's that done. We can pull this up in here if we can get the windrow raised quickly enough, which we can just about... Oh, we can just about do, and it'll be even faster if we can get the John Deere out of the way. Or not hit the John Deere. And for the forage wagon, we need only go over here. And we're not going to have any shortage of silage. That much is I am sure of. We do have some tools for working the pit as well, which we can throw onto the throw them onto the fast track actually, couldn't we? Could move the silage with the fast track. Let's move the silage with the... yeah, let's move the grass with the fast track, actually. Because I think that'd look pretty cool on the front of this Pottinger. Might look a bit big because it's based on a Fast Track 3000. In fact, the i3D files are literally called Fast Track 3000s, as you can see. But, I think this machine would be nice on it. And what's more, we can get up to a decent speed as well. Which is never entirely a bad thing when you can get up to, you know, 40, 50 miles an hour in a tractor. And it's a realistic speed. Now, I do have actually another mod that I want to activate, and I need to... I'll be replacing something in the West Coast with it. Because it's going to be a direct replacement. Sent to me yesterday. Unfortunately also private, kind of annoyingly. So I do apologize for my usage of random private mods, but I do quite like having like very specific ones I like having. Like this fast track. It's I think Pizza Wheel found the fast track on Facebook or something and did some edits to it. Sent it to a very, very few people. But this is, yeah, really nice mod. Granted, it is literally just the JCB 3000 fast track with a new body on, but it works for me. If I wanted, I could have a 230 horsepower fast track 2140, which doesn't make sense. Although one thing I will do is fix the naming, because I can fix that really, really super quick. It seems like Pizza and whoever made the mod he edited didn't quite know that you could do this, but I'm going to change the naming via the XMLs off camera later tonight. Assuming I will remember because I'll have nothing better to do. So that is the forage wagon full. We can pull out of it just over here and get heading over to the BGA. Their first load of grass silage. Granted, I will admit this, I am losing out on potential silage by using this forage wagon over the Mengele with the silage additives, but I don't really mind. We're going to be getting a lot of silage, so it honestly doesn't matter all that much. Like if it was going to be tiny amounts of silage and I wanted to get every last bit of silage from my silage, that was random lag, then I'd be a bit more concerned. But the fact that that field is quite large, I've already got 21,500 litres from it. We're going to get a few 100,000 litres of silage, which means this forage wagon is going to pay for itself in a single harvest. Now the next issue is going to be remembering where on earth the road to the BGA is, which I may already have passed, possibly, maybe not. That's not it. I think I might have passed it. No, there's the BGA over there, which means the road is going to be hidden here. And that's how quick you have to be to actually get the entrance of the BGA correct. Yeah, Lancey is evil for doing that. But we will have 21,300 litres of grass going in right now. We'll get plenty more as time goes on. And we will... I might aim to fill this silo this time. Or get it as full as I can. Because... oh, is it going to be wonky and annoying like this? Oh, it's too far back is the issue. Because I always tend to go for just like, oh, I'll just harvest this one field and then it'll be good. How amazing would it be to try and, or to leave Courseplay just do an entire silo, like a couple of million litres of silage. Because number one, that'd be stupid amounts of money. Number two, it would save me a lot of hassle. Or at least that's that's how it would work in my head. In reality, I'd probably have to get the faster construct. I'd probably have to faff about with stuff and whatnot and have a new headache caused by Courseplay. But we are out on the road again. Heading back down to the field. I'm really tempted to get sheep on this map. I don't know why I would though. There's no real rhyme, no reason for me to get sheep. But it is a temptation. One thing I do want to do, and I'm not entirely sure how I'd go about doing it, would be getting the silage kit over to the BGA that is currently in the shop. And the only thing that would be reasonable to do that with would be the fast track, but I'm kind of using that right now. That's a conundrum. I'll probably end up just unhooking the fast track, grabbing the stuff from the shop and running down in time, but for now my priority is most definitely on just getting the grass out of the field, because compacting is something I can worry about in a few days. When this is done, I guess. Now there are silage bales as well, and I need to check at some point if there's a bale section. Oh, I can pick up the hay too. That's really nice. So this is definitely a good way to clear the field, is to, if you've done some hay baling and you want to get the field cleared and make lots and lots of money out of it, and they'll make some grass silage. I'm guessing then that you can chop hay for silage with the forage harvesters, unless it's something that's localized to forage wagons, in which case get the biggest forage wagon you can and go ham. I didn't do the Mr. Lynn's windrow, by the way, today. I didn't particularly feel like it. The Mr. Lynn's windrow, for anybody wondering, because some of you might not have watched the multiplayer streams when I was doing them, when the server was open. Mr. Lynn's is a viewer and somebody I talk to on a reasonably, well, not very regular anymore basis, because he's very busy with real life things, but he's somebody I've spoken to on a somewhat regular basis in the past. Somebody who goes into TeamSpeak with me, Landy, and some of the guys. He, for whatever reason, and I can only presume it's because he's Swedish, decided that the single best way to get windrows done in a field of grass for silage is to make one redonkulously huge windrow in the middle. Just windrow the entire field into one line. And while it worked, it did look ridiculous. and forage harvesters, we literally had trailers going to and from the field constantly, because every time the forage harvester moved forward a small bit, it filled a trailer. I think at points we actually hit the limit of how high the grass could go as well. Definitely how much the windrower could move. But that is about all we have time for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, and please feel free to subscribe if you did enjoy that much. But I'm gonna leave it here. Hope you enjoyed again, because I started saying it and I was like, no Dave, you've already said that, but I'd already committed. I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Upton. Apparently I said Selby at some point last week. This is Upton. Until next time, stay safe. And I remembered where the BGA entrance is for once, but I still hit it. But I'm in. Goodbye.